Hey everybody, good evening. Here we are at session 13, lucky 13, yeah, of program of Joy Coding here at Portland State University. Um, so let's see here. This week we're going to focus on mob programming. So hopefully it'll be a little bit of a palate cleanser after all the stuff we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. Uh, and so then tonight, we're going to do an operating theater exercise where we'll have some folks here in the classroom who will join me in mob programming so we can see kind of what it's like and how it goes about, because the dynamic of it is different from pair programming. It's a similar, but there's some differences that make a difference. And then on Wednesday, I'd like everybody here in the classroom to experience mob programming yourself. This is the ideal classroom for it. We've got five stations all around that we can use. I might need a fifth HDMI cable. Do I have five? I might. Anyway, we'll figure it out. And that way we can all experience it together here, taking advantage of the projectors around the perimeter and the whiteboards and all the good stuff. Before we dive into that, though, let's do some Prime Minister's questions. So, hopefully for most people, Dust has settled on Project 3 and have been focusing on Project 4. I've got a couple of questions on Slack, but what can I tell you now about Project 4, about the XML parsing, the XML generation? What would you like to know? How are you finding it? How's it compared to the other projects? Okay, harder than Project 3. Okay. What are some of the things that you found that were challenging? Oh yeah, getting the XML generation. Yeah, are you using like the DOM API to generate things? Okay, that's good. Okay. Yeah, no one's trying to like generate by hand or anything. I hope yeah, escape all that stuff with double quotes in it. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, nice. Okay, well, excellent. It's due on Wednesday. Please ask questions on Slack. I'll try my best to answer them in a timely fashion. Any other topics for Prime Minister's questions before I actually dive into my programming? That's cool. Just for now. Oh, wait, let's do that. Let's hide that. And this. Well, awesome. So, in the middle of the course, we had three pairing sessions. We did pair programming, and as everyone got to experience, pair programming is different than developing by yourself, right? You have someone else that you get to work with. You have to work with to exchange ideas, and and this helped reinforce techniques like test-driven development and code refactoring, using the tools that we've been learning about, like IntelliJ and, of course, the Java programming language itself. Here in the second half of the course, we're going to work with ensemble programming or mob programming, as it's more quickly referred to, one syllable instead of three. And the whole idea behind mob programming is it's sort of a scaling up of pairing. The whole idea is like, well, being two brains in the problem is great, but what if we had like four or six? What if we had an entire team of people rallying around a problem to solve and bringing all of their brilliance to the discussion? So we're gonna so tonight and the next three Wednesdays, we're going to follow that same pattern of first seeing some people mob programming, and then you'll have an opportunity to experience yourself. This Wednesday and the next Wednesday, I ask that you be here in class. But then the third Wednesday after that, I think it's March 5th. Is that the right date? Yeah, March 5th. You can be here in person or remote for the mob programming. So What we're going to do first, though tonight, is I'll talk a little bit more about mob programming. But we'll be doing a kata. And so then this kata, and I'll talk about the details of the kata very shortly. The kata is here in the kata repository. So please, I encourage everybody to pull the latest changes to GitHub, and you'll see that there is a tennis project here. And if you would, oh, I didn't add developers. I should have. Sorry. Let me do that real quick here. Developers, and then developer, and then let's do name, and then roles. Well, actually, we're not going to do roles tonight because I think in mobbing, we'll figure that out. But if so, let me just so that's me, and then you can add yourself. Actually, I probably should just do that first. Let's see if we can get I don't know, 4 or 5 other people. 2, 3, 4, 5 folks here in the room. If you'd like to volunteer to please for developers to sign up. So that's in the pom.xml of the tennis kata. I'd appreciate it if we could get, again, 4 or 5 people who are here in the room to volunteer to work on the kata with the mob. Students have told me that it's not quite as intimidating when you've got like 4 other people up there with you. So what we'll be doing tonight is, as again, an operating theater exercise where some of us will pair and everybody else will watch. Those of you who are at home, I'll try my best to get good video and audio, but I hope you can get the gist of it. And we'll implement this tennis kata. Again, it's like the other katas that we've done. It's relatively straightforward. What we're learning to do here, it's not about implementing a program to keep track of the score of a tennis game. It's about learning how to mob program and sort of understand the dynamic of what it is that we're looking to accomplish here. So I hope you all had an opportunity to review the mob programming lecture, either the slides or the screencasts. I want to highlight a couple of things here. So I got to admit, I really like the slogan of mob programming. It's all the brilliant minds working together on the same thing at the same time in the same space at the same computer. We're not going to do the same computer tonight, but that's the whole idea, right? And we'll see a video of it here that will, I think, give you a good example of what it's like to be in a mob program with other people. And the thing that I really appreciated is a couple of things. We all experience a lot of learning when we solve problems and when we write code and all that kind of stuff. And what the mob does is just amplifies that learning. So you have multiple people all contributing what they know. You can have a little bit more parallelism in things like research and problem solving and discussions when you're in a mob. And so what you end up doing is not only going faster, but you go faster with a lot more resilience. You don't end up with areas of code or certain solutions that only one person knows about. The entire mob knows about it, and that has just a tremendous amount of value in terms of hey, someone can go on vacation, the work can keep going. So in mob programming, there are 3 general roles. The first one is the driver, and this is just like the driver and the navigator in pair programming, right? The driver is, in mob programming they call it the intelligent input device, right? It's the person whose hands are on the keyboard and is writing the code. And the driver's role, much like in pair programming, is that they ask the question, which is sort of like, well, what do I do now? And they have an entire rest of the mob, the entire team behind them, helping them answer that question, right? Because again, they're the ones who are typing. So it's like, yeah, hey, tell me what to write, or okay, what's the first test that we should write, things like that. And then you get the navigator, or sometimes called the designated navigator. And this is the person that takes the ideas from the rest of the mob, from all the mobbers, and sends them to the driver at the appropriate level of abstraction. And that really depends on the driver. And something that the navigator needs to figure out which is, hey, what's, for this particular person, what kind of information do they need? Sometimes it's got to be kind of low level, very specific, especially if someone's not terribly familiar with the tool or with the language. It's like, okay, I need you to type this, or hey, would you please do that? And very quickly though, they'll figure out that okay, maybe sometimes they can go higher in abstraction. So things like, yeah, write a class that does this, write a test that does this, or hey, call this API to go do something there. But the navigator, because they're part of a mob, not only are they focused on the driver, they're focused on the rest of the mob, right? So they need to be paying attention and listening to some of the things that the mobbers are telling them. And they also, it's their responsibility to solicit ideas from the rest of the mob and really look for the best solution that can be implemented. And that's the power of the mob, right? I think I talked in the slides that there's some anti-patterns in mob programming, especially when you've got one person just typing and a whole bunch of other people are watching, or you've got a pair that's working and everybody else is just watching. The whole idea is that this is a group conversation, it's a team conversation. And so as such, the navigator is really responsible for making sure that other people speak up and that have their voices heard. This is a really important component of mob programming, something that the inventors, the authors of mob programming really emphasize is that it really is whole team. It's not just like some people watching and other people doing. So we have the driver and the navigator. Those are probably the familiar roles, and then you've got everybody else, which is we're called mobbers, right? And so then the whole idea is that they work and they act to inform the advice that's ultimately given by the navigator to the driver. So they can do things like perform research to figure out, oh, hey, what's the best way to do this? Or they can keep track of maybe alternates or alternates that weren't taken, or make notes for later. It's like, oh right, yeah, we'll need to write this test case eventually, or oh yeah, right, here's a place for refactoring, or oh, be on the lookout for this kind of thing. Additional test cases, things like that. So those are the three primary roles, and it's probably good enough for this class. Of course, in the slides, I talk about all sorts of different kinds of roles, and I encourage you to maybe sort of dip your toe into that. It's like, okay, yeah, but what would an archivist do? What would a what's the traffic cop? I forgot that role. Traffic cop is the name of the role. Those kinds of things. What would they do? But but really, I think I'll consider it a success if you have an opportunity to play in these three standard roles. So some things to remember while doing your ensembling or mobbing. Again, speak at the highest level of abstraction the driver is familiar with. Don't need to dumb it down for someone, but also realize that, hey, for a particular tool, a particular language feature, yeah, they might need some detailed instructions. The mob programming has three core values: kindness, consideration, and respect. And it's true, right? The mob's not going to work if you have someone who is too dominant or isn't aware and respectful of what the rest of the mob is doing, right? Maybe someone's going too fast or too slow. Making sure that you're aware of your surroundings is an important part of being an effective mobber. And also, in the mob, you may find someone who's quiet, or someone through circumstance has the least privilege. Professionally, this is usually like the person with the who's earliest in their career. But of course, also realize that people with different communication styles, people maybe of that show up differently than everybody else, may not feel that they can engage, and that right there is a sign of an ineffective mob too. When you've got someone who isn't able to engage, it's really on the rest of the mob to bring them in and have them contribute. And then again, these advanced roles are good to know about, but probably not where you want to start. Certainly not in the first time. And so I've got a lot of links there. There's a lot of really great information out there. This was really exciting for me to learn about. So, where is, I guess it's not on here. Let's take a look then at a little video about mob programming. We'll have a quick discussion, and then we will, oh my gosh, actually there is no sound, I don't need to show the sound. Then we will go on. Okay, so anyway, this is, I'm gonna full screen this. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna bother sharing for optimized video. I think you'll be able to see it okay. So, this is a time-lapse video of really one of the first mob programming teams mobbing. and it's where you get to see mobbing in action. So here we are, at the beginning of the day, and the team talks about what they're doing, right? They make some plans for the day. They talk about the problem that they're solving, and they do some coordination. There's a whiteboard there off screen, and one of the key things about mobbing is that there are like meetings. It's not like meetings are separate from working. It's like no. People talking to each other, people working with each other is how it works. And so then here again, like there's one set of hands on the keyboard. There's one keyboard that one person works with, and they rotate roles. So again, every 15 minutes, they choose a new driver. They choose a new navigator. And sometimes people come into the mobs. This is the product owner. He's the person that is, who really asks for the feature. And then you've also got a manager or coach who, helps the team move along. And poof, they did some work, right? In 2 hours, they were able to deliver a new piece of functionality for the product owner. And then they continue throughout the day, right? They work with each other sometimes. Yeah, if someone needs, to take a break, go off and do some solo work, to go have another meeting, or just to recharge, they can. Yeah. And so here they are working through the day, right? People are coming and going, people are moving, people are researching, they're implementing things, and they're talking about and solving the problems. And they take a break for lunch, right? This is great, right? So no one's like working through the entire day. There's a healthy rhythm to the day with enough breaks. This guy, I guess, is working on his lunch hour, which is fine. But the whole idea here is they've got a setup that allows them to do this, where they can all meet, where they can all work together, and then they can come back when they are ready to re-engage. Yep. So here we go, and some more rounds of coding with lots of people there, and okay, make it clear that functioning as an actual team, and it's true, right? People are engaged. Because again, in the 15-minute rotations, they have enough time to make their contribution and go off and do something else, to think about what they're seeing, and then play in those different roles. And so here again, this is about all the brilliant minds, right? Everybody who's needed is in the room. And if there isn't someone needed, they'll get them, right? Like when they had to bring the product owner in. And, people rallying around the work. And here it is, it's getting towards the end of the day, and there's ebbs and flows, right? They will, take a break, but and they work together, right? And that's kind of what it looks like, right? So again, it's people. Oh no. So that's what mob programming is all about. Multiple people all rallying around the same problem, working together, having a conversation. And unlike pairing where it's just two, you have even more people there to help you out, to help move things forward, and to contribute all their ideas. Want to give it a try? Let's give it a try. So did anybody sign up? No? Oh, come on, guys. I need some help here. What? Up to 6 of us, including myself. But I think 4 would be great. So if I'd be the 5th, 4 would be awesome. Let's do it. Nice. Yeah. And so if you could bring your laptops up here, and actually, I think we just talk about a little bit. We'll talk about the kata after people come up. Say what? Yeah, let's do it. Oops, let's go get that tennis kata back up again. Okay. Yeah, a couple more people. Yeah, let's do it. That's all right. That's it. Whatever works. So actually, yeah, I think what I'll do here, I'll keep my screen joined, but if you guys could join the Zoom, and then we'll just share screens and stuff, and so everybody will be watching this. But I think that way, yeah. So I don't let's see here. Sorry, what was I doing here? I wanted to show the video panel. Nice. We got a CPU right here. Yeah, right. And people can join later too, if you're like, okay, this isn't so bad after all, or whatever. So yeah, so I'm just gonna like, yeah, we're starting mobbing. And you can join in later if you want, because you just got here, right? You had like a rough trip on the bus and everything. Okay, that's all right. Thanks for joining. Yeah, we'll do pull and push and stuff. Okay. Well, let's talk about the kata. So we'll actually I'll just you guys pull out the code and everything. Cool, excellent. So yeah, so let's see here. So this is like scoring a game of tennis. Are you guys familiar with tennis? Yeah. Pickleball for young people, they're athletic and stuff. Oh, man. I play pickleball with a bunch of like 70-year-olds and stuff, and it's I can keep up most days. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. I saw a chart where it was like pickleball and then like this is too right. Yep. Okay. So the whole idea here is that we want to model a game of tennis, and so like the way the scoring works, right, is that each player starts out, they have a score of love, like they haven't scored yet, and then they go 15, 30, 40 as they have the ball. So as they serve. So I'm gonna get all this stuff on the screen. Yeah. So right, that's not familiar, and then we get to 40, you win, and there's a whole advantage and everything like that. And then yes, yeah, right, exactly, yeah, Wii Tennis, yes, yeah, right. Yeah, that's right, yeah. It's like 40 though. Nice. And so then, we've got the whole, so then if the game is in deuce, meaning that each player has 40, then whoever wins the point has the advantage, and if you score another point when you have the advantage, that player wins the game. But if they then lose their advantage, then they're back in deuce. So that is sort of the way that the rules are sort of explained with what you see. Although they also include in this kata these description of rules that Wikipedia has, which actually when I look at this, like, that would be easier to implement, right? So if you basically say, hey, I've got like like 0, 1, 2, or 3 points, and have those correspond to like love 15, 30, and 40, then the math would be a little bit easier. I don't know, but we can figure it out. Okay. So does that make sense, or from a know how to do it? So let's see here. Let's talk about sort of a general approach. And actually, let me put some time on the clock here. So let's just take like, I don't know, like 5 minutes and talk about the approach. So like, I don't know, what do you think? Like, what's the like, what are some of the concerns, or what are some of the things we need to think about before we dive in?
How we structure each player's score, maybe a list, or just do the iterative counter, the iterated increased improvement with every time the score. Two.
Yeah. Speak up.
Yeah, we have to have a way to manage checking if both players are deuce, and then a way to like kind of not just keep incrementing forever, like go up and go back down and stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's like when the game finishes. Yeah, nice.
we gonna be representing both players in the scope of a single class? Like, are they both gonna be members of this?
Yeah, I kind of think so. But yeah, it's right. Do we need like a player class or a game class? And I don't know. And like, how do we represent the score? Like, so, you know, like, because like for me, the first question I always ask is like, what's the first test that we need to write? And it's probably just like a game of love, but it's like what does that score look like? Is this a string? Is it like a number? Is it like you use objects to represent things? I don't know.
The first thing that comes to my mind is having an array list with each score being a string, so we can just look at it. And then having the index be how many points they scored.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, kind of like that. It's sort of like the thing what Wikipedia is hinting at, right? That might be easiest to sort of say, hey, there's a score that gets converted by 1 each time, and then like when you display it or whatever, that's when you convert things to like 30 or love or whatever. Yeah, I like that. Okay. You do me another 2 minutes and 46 seconds to figure this out, or you want to dive in?
You guys can put it in back score. I think the array idea, what I'm curious about is there's not going to be any item, right? This is just
Nah, I mean, let's write like a unit test against the class, and then yeah, because it doesn't really talk about like, oh, is there a main method? And where's it spread out and stuff. So that's a good point.
yeah, I think the first test would just be returning the score that's from the game blah blah. And then make sure the objects are created with whatever we want. Each player object to represent that.
I think that makes sense for the defense score. So we just display the contents.
Yeah.
And you can have conditionals to make sure like the bounds are you get an advantage if one player has an advantage and the player scored. You can equip that down.
Cool. Okay. Nice. Okay then. Shall we get started? Yeah. Who wants to drive first? I could drive first if you want. Let me drive first. Who wants to be the first navigator? All right. Okay. Okay. Sorry. I have to go from over here, and so it'll be a little because I don't have a very long HDMI cable. But I'll figure what I'll do then is I'll leave mine on the projector, and so then yeah, go from there. Okay. Cool. Awesome. So yeah, I guess it's kind of like, antiphonal driver over here. Let's see here. Wow, let's do like 7 minutes, 7-minute rotations, and then we'll do a 2-minute, retro. Yeah, again, like using those Pomodoros that we did last time. Okay, so let's see here. You all signed up? Yeah, Copico did. Thank you. Okay, but let's go to the tennis test. Okay, so then, well, we don't need this, but okay, what was the first test that we want to write? Oh, I want to turn off Copilot. Sorry, wait a second. How do I? Yeah, turn off Copilot. I don't want suggestions for that. Nice. Okay, thank you. Copilot. Show GitHub Copilot. Off. I don't know. We'll see. Go for it. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Sorry, we were saying, what is the? Oh yeah, the little guy in the bottom right too. I guess he's gone away. Great. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. What was the first test we were going to implement? Right. Initially, each Well, just stop. Partially, okay, yeah, go away, Copilot. Seriously. It is the standard. Whatever. Want my tennis kata? I'm not that worried about it. This will disable it. No, I don't have to remove the whole plugin. Uncheck checkbox to get a folder to disable it. Fine, okay. So okay, so settings, so file settings. I know, right? Yeah, it's like
It's not gonna give you the right.
It's like, do you want to disable to
Copilot. Copilot. Yeah, seriously, can I? I need framework accessibility. I don't need all of this. Okay. Got it. Go away. Actually, each player has 0 points. I don't want this. Actually, I kind of like that though. But oh, look, it uses like the wrong assert. What is this? This is terrible. Okay. I know, right? Okay, so what do we want? Well, I think we kind of do want a new game of tennis. I got to admit that. Yeah, right. And so, like, what do we want here? And then I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like equal to. Equal to. And we like the string there. Okay. And by the way, I mean, mobbing with an AI, nothing wrong with that. We'll see how it does. Okay. Pretty much. Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't know. Nice. Okay. So then, yeah, what do we want to do over here? I mean, what's
So for that score,
okay? Oh, interesting. Well, or I mean, could we just have it compute it here based on what the score is? Okay. Cool. I don't know. Anybody have a desire to sort of have this be like Love? No, I don't. I didn't want uppercase. You're too smart for me. Copilot. Okay, so then I know, right? Yeah, that was my fault. I think I typed LO. Perhaps. You know. Okay. Nice. Yeah. So yeah, what we want to do next? We want to. Did you want to put this into a string, or did you want to compute it in the? Oh, okay, yeah, yeah.
I worked on that first, and
It's like a new.
then back to the school and say, what school after points. And so now just test that. Is it true or not?
Well,
That's how they're doing now.
yeah. Oh, good. Someone else. Okay, so did we like this enough to keep it? Nice. Okay. So yeah, let me just. I know it's not gonna pass, but let me just put it in. Yeah, put it in here. Okay. Implement. Test cases. Well, cool. Let's do a couple. Let's do like 2 minutes of retrospection here. What do you think? Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I can see that. Well, okay, and so then, what do you think of that Copilot? It was like obnoxiously pleasant.
Smart and
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
it gives you the right, like what you wanted, but it's like not completely right. It gives you a full password.
Well, I think that was me because I typed.
Like, you're doing like doing too much, and then it's like it just steers you very confident, and
Yeah.
you don't know.
Confidence.
Yeah, it's like you don't know where the road you want to drive down is.
Yeah.
You'll just end up in a ditch. You'll be like, why is it all the time this way? And it's because the AI was like, well, that's what I found. And it's like, no, it's not. No. So you have to have a game plan that helps smooth out the bumps.
Cool. Okay, so then, what was it like being the navigator?
It's tough to remember everything I'm learning about Java and coding on the spot, but yeah, I think typically when I go through a development program, I spend a lot of time kind of writing out what I'm going to do, like planning out how I'm going to implement it. But then in this, it's kind of like, okay, figure out how you're going to solve it. It's more accurate for like a Java interview or like if you're given a task, you have to do it quickly, right? Um, and so navigating, it's nice when it's like I can just kind of say, well, we should do it this way, I think. And then for like syntax or something, like I was like, oh, dot equals. It's not dot equals. I was typing that. And that's dot equal to.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Or not dot equal to, just equal to is a separate thing. So it's nice.
Okay. Good deal. Who wants to be the next driver? Do you want down the line? So you can like drive next, and then navigate next. Okay. Because we can share your screen. I'll put that up here. Put up the Zoom. So I'm gonna stop sharing.
How much of our talking should be
Oh yeah, I don't know how well the audio is gonna work. Oh my gosh, it's so small. Let me let's see here. It's immersive. No. Oh, you're right. It's pretty good. Yeah. Cool.
Alright, so we ended off with a new unit test. Player one scores once. And just for starters, I think we should run it just to see that it fails as we expect it to. But cool, so it does fail because we just have a full case forget score. So next, do we want a separate method for player one scores? We just want to update get score to and player one has a score of 1, right? So I think we can get rid of player one scores. The function follows that.
And then
That function is to
Oh, okay. So in that case, we want some representation of player one score, and can we decide whether we want to just do that as an integer, as some kind of counter?
yeah, either integer or should we do? I guess we do integer and then that index for
Yeah,
string
I
array.
think that approach makes the most sense.
Yeah,
That's
so
it.
we do score tracker.
Player one score, because I believe we'll have a player two score. So
Player one score.
That's your bar.
Yeah.
That's like.
Do you mean to turn one of the lights down a little bit, or is there one that's
Actually,
over there?
I think it's, actually, I don't know, the light is over here on that wall. Do you mind if we
I
try
can,
to adjust the lights?
is that okay? Yeah, I just think I can see it better, honestly.
And then in that case, do we just want
Oh, yeah,
player
do that
one
one.
Is that
scores?
okay?
Yeah, oh, that's
Is
great.
that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better.
So much better.
Sorry
Like
about
dark
that.
mode. No, thank you for speaking
It's
up.
nighttime, it should be dark, right?
Yeah, I'll fall asleep soon.
Okay, so we got player one score, player two score.
Then in that case, since we just have integer representation of score, should player one score just increment player one score by 1?
So we just do player one score plus plus, or do you want to do plus plus player one score?
No, we don't.
No, okay, and then we'll just return that.
Actually, well, it's a void right
That
now.
one, yeah, it's
It's,
a
you can just do this dot player one score plus plus. Is that necessarily?
It's the same thing as Lenbug. Yeah, I don't know.
Just 'cause there's
This,
no
you know, makes it
shadow.
obvious that it's a field, but, you know, since the IDE already puts a different color,
Okay.
it's, I do it a lot. Back when I started writing Java, you know, IDEs weren't
We'll be kind to
all
the
sepia
next
table.
people.
I just wanted to look at we don't need the logic to have the characters for That's
Yes.
good.
That one.
Yeah.
So should we update the test to check for the number first and then add more tests for strings? Or should we kind of take off that big, like make these
Check
turn?
check the functionality of that.
Well, I don't know if we can jump right to the array yet, right? It's like, how many things do we?
We'll just return.
Well, no, but then the other one would break, right? So,
So I think it's small enough to where we can add in our score.
yeah.
So we decided that we want that to be a string array with 4 elements. And its respective values would be love, 15, 30, and 40.
Score names.
Yeah,
And then what's the syntax here for?
I think it's curly brace and then quotation marks. And in our test, we have 15 spelled out as a word. So I think we're going for word.
Oh, what do we want? We want the word, we want the AI that,
That's already tested.
and
We want them
do
to
we want to add all those constants now, or do we want to wait until we have a test?
Our current tests, player one scores once would rely on that.
I mean, all we need is 15 and love. That's right. I don't know how to spell 30.
We don't need that. I think in our get score function, we can just have some logic that's like return
So we do.
score names, player one score plus. A dash. Do we want to jump ahead and do player two's part yet, or do we just want to keep that has
Good point. I mean, there's no way to tell.
So currently this will make it up.
But did we run both of the tests? I don't know if there's a keyboard shortcut for all of the tests. Oh, sorry.
You just use that control R.
Yeah, it's
Service
Control Shift R.
Okay.
Yeah, runs the test from wherever you are. So if you're inside of Vendor one, or if you're outside of Vendor one, inside of class.
So what do we feel is a fair incremental test? Do we just go back to doing the scores 1-1, or do we go all the way with player 1 first, or we have the scores like 2-0? Player 2 scores is a valid.
Sure, test for Well, I mean, wait. You're like, you didn't duplicate that method first. I go ahead and fix it, compile.
That's it.
Well, you could ask for Let's run it and see how it goes. Yeah, well, it does, yeah, you need your last one or whatever. Yeah, excellent, awesome. Okay, sweet. Let's, yeah. Okay, so what's the navigate?
Navigating in mock programming is interesting, just because, at least as someone with not a ton of experience, you almost treat it like pair programming. It's like, but I think, well, it's just like you're mainly communicating with the one driving, but part of mob programming is remembering to reach out to your mob, especially those who, just all of them, the ones who have more experience and the ones who have less experience.
Yeah. Well, and so, yeah, I mean, so should we as mobbers, what can we have done differently to?
I think we did a decent job overall. Aaron interjected a few times, which is what we want in mob programming. We want all ideas to be kind of considered. I think we could have someone else join since they've had
Right.
stuff to look at. If
Well,
anyone's
we're
up
gonna
for it, it's like, it's not so bad.
I'll come up. It's not
Yeah, right on. Okay.
He says you were up for it.
I'm fine. It's been a minute.
I want to say you did a really good job being very clear about what he was saying.
Yeah.
Really clear, it's really structured, concise.
Ryan, what was it like for you to be drive?
Yeah. So I was given good directions, and it was nice hearing like the mom kind of interjected, like, oh, actually, we should look out for this, or we should do that instead. And so it kind of simplified some of the thinking process, and maybe instead of making it quick, but then also like little bad habits that I have, like I started making the actual method and then go to the test methods.
Yeah.
Then I get called off of that. It's like, okay, I should do the test method first. But then I go in and I start editing that main method because I was like, in my head, I already got it.
Yep.
So,
Okay, who's next for Robert? Nice.
Okay, go ahead.
This is the farthest played in the middle of the screen. Okay. Cool. Light navigator, give me instructions.
I kind of want to ask everyone, do you think we should continue to do these incremental tests one by one, or should we jump to start trying to get bigger implementation for tests? Because one thing I noticed is that, for instance, the player one scores, we're not counting conditionals, or if they're at the highest score you have, or if they're in a win condition. So maybe we should make a test for the win condition first.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah. Since we only partially have our scorings array built, if we add any scores, then we're gonna fill out that whole scoring.
That was
So do we just want to start with finishing up our scoring?
Let's do it, yeah, that's a good thing. You know, we're going to do that.
40.
And then we will need advantage too.
Is it 40 or 40?
The 40 deuce advantage.
We could have a check for if both players at 40 or score 3 of it. Yeah, those are some tests. Right. Like, yeah, what are we talking about?
So do we want that both players are at 40 then?
Yeah, so we'll test.
Yeah.
Yeah, so clear tests for both players should. We shouldn't assert that they're both at 40, we should assert these, right? The game is at these, yeah.
Deuce will be the score for deuce.
It's very important, yeah. So
I saw Greg moving those. She had like a multi-room.
that's a shit hole.
And what was the assertion? We want to
Assert that test docket score equal to
school.
right?
Equal to just deuce, right?
Pretty sure like not totally.
So still advantage, so one player scored two strokes. No, so it's a neutral advantage. The other player buys.
But one player didn't get 30 points.
No, I think that's an advantage over the two strokes. If you have 40, then you win the next time. Yeah, there's 4. I thought it was if you're 40, you win the point. It's only usually both are 40. So there's, yeah, so
If you're 40, you win the point. You get
40 and then stay around.
So you can run this fast and just pass.
Yeah.
So do you all want to keep that as an array element, or do you want to keep it as a thing?
Where both are 40 minutes.
So I was thinking personally, if the conditional at use, you would get score return. If they were both at index.
I think that makes sense. I don't know if you guys know that. Perhaps if the only we have it in the array, and then it's if we're doing, is that the question? Well, I guess, yeah. Or you want to take if we're doing kind of like a separate check for these, do we want to do a separate check, or do we want to just check in the score?
I'm not sure what the best practice is the first line of the hit score function would be if player one score one. Should we run all of it?
I don't know. I usually just run the one that I expect to kind of focusing on. But yeah, that one too.
They're all three. Definitely eliminate about half of the and do something logic to go for because it could be an array, a list of items, and another number to include, or it can just be another list.
How do we express that? I mean, I'm not quite seeing how we would write like what is the score would look like? Is that what we do?
Right. I feel like we either need to keep track of who's at advantage, or we need to include it in some sort of representation.
Yeah,
I think
so
that's
let's
what
write the
we're
test first. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just not
No,
seeing
but I
it,
get what you
right?
mean. I think it's good. It's like, sure.
So we're writing it as we want that to be player one.
Player one has a
Yeah.
we'll just put in the same last.
So there's no specific for all four. You just want this.
Advantage is if one person from that pool is the score, then it's their advantage. Right? So it's player one advantage, player two scores. Okay. Player one advantage, player one scores.
That's pretty good. That's a bring back heavy trail probably.
So we're using
I think I like it for the katas because it'll just automatically merge it for you if there's like stuff.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, I need to be way better about it.
So it's like way more convenient than like going back to the command line and then like get loading and then you try to commit. It's like someone else added within that time frame.
Okay, well, what was that like?
I think as a navigator at that time, we had a lot more to dive into just logic-wise, so we had to take a lot of steps back and look at what the programmer was doing in certain circumstances. I think that like it's more of a collaborative effort to get the navigation at different times.
I hope I didn't bother you. I thought it was just kind of interject.
No. I think it was not the.
Well, I just felt like you're normal. I'm one of the guys. So I was just like, how does it feel? I'm trying to make sure that's.
It is hard to not try to help yourself.
Well, I just don't want to be rude.
Okay, so we're ready to pick back up again.
Oh, I'm driving you now.
Yeah. So you have to get into share the screen.
So, in the middle of working on the player one advantage. So can you guys see that okay?
Yeah, I think so. Do you have a ratio? That's fine. If we're on time, it's okay. So what were we doing? We were talking about the advantage element, right? So who has the advantage now? We left off. So player one had the advantage. We did check it for sure. Yeah. So advantage, we don't have a bid for that, so, but it'd be player one.
We do like
Are you all wanting to do that? Yeah, what do you all think about that? Some kind of screen that calculates it between players, or that's what it's kind of thing. Player one, like two.
I think you need to specify which player has the advantage, right? So they're like games.
Okay.
And that was to have like, it had the base element, right? Or no, sorry. My idea was thinking about adding the advantage as a list element and then have it only go to that.
Player game, right? But then, okay, that makes sense. Can you go side by side and figure out like where the different spot is? Because I thought that the scores were generic enough to be medium scores. So it's almost like when you have two players, eliminate the game, and see if that build into that scores.
Do we though? I mean, it's like, I don't know if that's serving us very well at the moment. Or, yeah, I think it's serving us well for like love through 40, but like, it's like with Juice, like, well, we have some social case logic on there. Like, we see more case logic.
I think here we might want to start adding another function. We might want a has advantage function or who has advantage.
I like that idea.
But how do you keep track of that? Is it that the field variable?
It's almost like kind of asking, do you want to take the approach of making a player class at this point and having attributes to that class, or you just decide to have like a field in the tennis class that represents the player's advantage? Yeah, you could almost do like if you wanted to a string that just says player one advantage and then show that string and call it player one advantage. But I just feel like that's really generic. That's not what generic is. Classification.
There's also, once you reach like the two stage, you only have 3 possible like score statuses until someone wins. So that's something to take into account too, so we don't have to worry about, you know, is player score between 0 and 3, like once we're at twos.
So what do you advocate for at that point? Do you want to do like some kind of class instance, or do you want to keep it in line with the same class as the next class?
And I'm wondering if we just extend the string array.
Like add a unique element for that.
I think if we extend the string array, I feel like it makes using the player scores as the index kind of deprecated as a feature, because then you have to artificially limit them to advantage player 1, advantage player 2, or deuce. So they could only ever have a max score of 7, but we know that the score could go higher. Like, I think that would introduce a lot more if statements.
What if we do, okay, what if we do this? What if we make a player class, give it a score, and then we have an advantage give it to you? And then we can check the score from the player class. Instead of doing this player 1 scores, player 2 scores, we just increment that player's array. Unless you want to think that's too complicated.
Yeah, I think the thing that I can see there is that the advantage, it's, you need to know both scores to know if someone's got the advantage.
Right.
So it's like, that information is tightly coupled. So that if you have like, one player needs to know about the other player, I don't really get the advantage of encapsulating something in the class.
Okay. That's a good point. Trying to figure out how we can add that.
We can have a function that just goes back to deuce. And then if the index is going up to, let's see, 4 would be deuce, right? So if you have like a 5 and a 4 more scores, then you just deuce it.
Okay, what if instead you had the advantage as the fourth element? I like what you're doing. But on the scores, you do a deuce check, and you append an additional string to represent that player's advantage. And you return that.
That's what's for like advantage player 1.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
And we're trying to continue as much specification logic to get score. Right?
Sure, sure. Right.
This test will fail.
Right. Did we just sidestep in there?
No.
Are we thinking that too? I feel like, listen, I'm just trying to drive here.
He's the intelligent input device. He doesn't get paid to think.
You're just the driver, sir.
And you don't get paid at all. You get paid in experience. Exactly.
So we know this one fail, okay, because we don't have any text so forward. So let's add the advantage. Put the colon in there. Colon. And then let's do the check for the score.
Yeah, so we'll do it, after each, right?
Yeah, makes sense. So that's if the indexes of player one are at three, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. So when they score again, or how do you all want to do that?
There would be one for, player one being 3, and the other being 4, and then the opposite, right?
That makes sense.
I guess you could do it.
But the score names are not unique. So it's universal.
Because in this you would return,
Advantage, right.
player 2 is
Well, that makes sense. They incremented the score, you increment that score, you just return advantage, which is the index of player score, player 2 score,
Oh, yeah.
and then you add the string to player 2. Or we don't have a get score yet.
So you're mixing the array?
Yeah, so you just go to score names, character up 4 or whatever.
I think my problem with this approach is what happens if you have a score that's like 5-4? Then
Well, we should write a test for that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I see where you're going, I agree.
Yeah.
This might not be, but let's, it's a test capacity, it'll help us understand more about.
But that's weird. This is a struggle. It's harder.
Okay.
I think it's kind of harder.
We just have to read it.
Well, no, it's just because we're all brains.
Yeah, because, I mean, so, what is this,
And it's O and E.
pencils down? So, checking the code, pick it up from there, but like, what was it? Okay, that was different, right?
Yeah, that was
Yeah, wow. It's like, how is that different?
I feel like it's good to have multiple ideas because then you can sort of like go down those paths and see the road and see the destination, but it's also like kind of challenging because there's so many approaches. So it's fun. I like thinking about multiple perspectives. But it's also fun to kind of like figure out where the landmines are and the feedback's great. Yeah, just know where it is.
In general, I think this is how kind of normally goes with their program. Is the starter moves really, really easy once you get complicated section, or at least getting to where you need to be more aware of what the actual structure of the program is supposed to be. You need to make those decisions quickly and kind of hold it. Yeah.
That way, yeah, a lot.
It's fun to juggle.
So in terms of how the mob operates, what ideas do you have? So I'm the code runner, like in terms of how the mob is working.
Should the navigator just like kind of define one here, or is it, that's another dynamic. I feel like I have a little bit of knowledge in navigator, but I don't want to overstep boundaries of what other people have ideas on. You know what I mean? That's kind of a challenge for the navigator.
Yeah, and also like balancing, you want the mob to be balanced,
Yeah.
but not in charge. You know?
That's true. I guess. Should it be mob majority, kind of like in real life? Like
Yeah, mob majority navigators focus.
maybe something like that. You know, it's something to consider. I mean,
Because sometimes groupthink just really sync up on it. You just do
yeah.
So I think having one person could be like, actually, my gut feeling says let's not, make the object or something. Like, maybe try to do is like, should we do objects? Because I was thinking objects of the first player objects and stuff. I was doing that way, but it's also we're looking at players.
That's true. Right.
Because even if there's 4 players, there's 2 teams. So,
Let's see here.
Are we almost done? I was going to ask you what you think we should do, like the structure of this, because you seem to not like the idea
Well, it's funny because this is going very differently than what I've done in the past. And one of the reasons is that we didn't start out with a player class. We're taking it out of that. So I mean, come on, so this class has been like 1,000 times, or I'm sure it's like all over GitHub. So it's like, but no, yeah, I mean, I guess my data where to go, but not like what you're all doing. I mean, Do you want me to navigate next, or do this come over to me and you can? I don't really want.
Well, I'll type it. I can type. Yeah, that's fine. Whoever wants to navigate, is the resolution okay? Or rapid up?
Sure, you let me just resize the window. Yeah, because if you're sharing a desktop, you switch from sharing desktop to sharing window.
Yeah, never mind. You're right. You're right.
So I get rid of that as a
The entire screen, right? Desktop one or the Apple? What did you say?
just the Apple.
It's just like this.
You can hide the,
Oh, hold on. This is the wrong. I'm doing. Yeah.
Guys, no one look at this.
No, look at this. No.
We want to pick who's navigating.
Yeah, you guys figured that out.
Oh, I went. Oh, that was so easy.
Okay, wait a second.
Sala,
See, I'm at some conflict where like this has happened in pair programming where we had a sequence of two navigators who didn't agree on how to implement stuff, and like I want to kind of go back and step over what we've done so far, but also we're in the mob, so it's less than just like talk to your teammate. It's like talk to the group because the group overall seem to agree.
usually democratically elected.
That's what
How about three of us?
With term limits,
Are we just,
or just reinventing the government.
we're all fine with like completely refactoring it. Yeah, I feel like.
Okay, cool. I'm ready.
I mean, it sounds like Gustavo, you have more of a clear idea. It's weird.
Well, I don't know a clear idea.
If you, there's definitely some forking
Just
opinions. Yeah. You don't want to end up like too many checks.
Hey, this round is going to be a whole group retro, so we're fine too. So.
Okay, here got everything.
And you just want to run our test to start
Sure, let's
to see where we're at.
finish that.
I was messed up. I started writing it for player two, like a player two navigator, but it should be player one. So it should be score names.
Oh, right. Yeah, let's do that. Player one.
Yeah, and then the score name should be indexed to player one.
Player one. This is player one. This is player one. And you guys want to do. Y'all never figured that out.
Well, we want to run the test to see the path.
Yeah, let's do that.
at this point.
Yeah, that's where we were. When's a good time to go back and refactor? Because I caught a buzz.
We're passing so far, y'all.
Well, so then I think now would be, passing, so it's now, that's pretty good.
Okay.
I want to commit, we got
It's not a huge change, it's almost just a logic change. But it has to do with the definition of deuce. We have both players at deuce for 3 points, but deuce could be 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6.
So I'll say that's probably not a refactoring as much as it is improving the algorithm. So we can do that next. So I recommend that you do is you're obviously in a case where it would work, where the test, watch it fail. So like what's the test that would expose the bug that you believe to be there?
I think if we go to under both players at deuce, to just keep all of our tests, both players at deuce score is over 3 or something. I think that name we're going to have a conflict with the previous both players at deuce test. I think,
Oh, that's right. Okay. What did you say the condition was that you wanted us? Both players
it's just
use
4, 4.
4-4.
And then you can copy most of the code just from that. Yeah,
Oh, that's something I would refactor. Or sorry. Yeah, let's make a note to refactor that.
Oh yeah, this is nasty. You guys want to make an edit for that?
Not now.
Okay. Thank you.
I think,
Scribe.
we expected deuce here.
Use.
Yes. And you need to add,
And then,
you need to add one more player. So sorry,
oh, you're allowed to interject.
One more player
That's-
too, right? Is that what you
Yes.
said?
Two scores. And then I think this will fail. I think that is what
Nope, doesn't work.
So would you want to switch to a system of
Control.
well, it doesn't matter.
manage?
Manage.
So just to clarify, do you want to do like if scores are above above 3, then equals deuce, and then if not, then whoever's is higher gets the advantage?
I think that's
We're just gonna reduce right now.
combining a lot of logic. I think we just have to change the equals to 3 to greater than or equal to 3.
For player 1 and for player 2.
Yes. Because
But don't they be equal to each other?
yeah, and then that was what.
Oh, sorry. Good job.
Because do we want like 100 against 100 deuce, or do we want 100 to not even be a possible score?
100.
Yeah.
That becomes like a game question.
Because once we get to deuce, there's no more, it's all relative. It's all within 2 points.
But to the outside, that can be true. Even though on the inside, it's not. So, yeah. So is it like, right? It's better to just sort of say how really have that be not so much player score, but it's how many times has that player scored.
What I was thinking is in both the player 1 and player 2 scores, we can add a check that if the other player is at, let's do 3. So if player 2 is at equals 3, or sorry, has advantage, so it's a negative score. If player 2 equals 4, then we subtract 1. So we go back to 3.
Ooh, okay.
But you're never going to go back down to 40 again, right?
You just
But then
Yeah. I mean, I worry it's going to complicate things, but then again, those curves might be.
What if you just have deuce be set up?
You're allowed to speak.
Can deuce not be a condition? Like, can it just not be a condition? I feel like we're doing a lot of this. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention. I've been driving.
It's been a while since we've looked back at our original problems.
Deuce is only possible if they both have the almost winning score of 40, right?
Yes. But if one player has advantage and the other one scores with that
If at least 3 points have been scored by each player and the scores are equal, the score is deuce.
Oh,
so translating
boy,
that to
yeah,
logic,
yeah.
it's just if both scores are greater than or equal to 3, and both scores are equal, I think that's deuce.
which makes sense numerically, but we have it set up as a list,
dang it.
so the index system doesn't work.
Well, you just return deuce.
We don't even.
Right. Maybe it's not serving us well anymore. I don't know. Let's talk about it first.
Yeah, because right now.
Let's have everybody talk about it.
Yeah.
We're in a really interesting place right now. Okay, it's good. So, you've been watching mock programming for like, I don't know, half an hour, 6 days, I can't have lost track. What's it like from the outside, watching all of this glorious software engineering happening here? Okay. What do you observe about the dynamics of the mob?
We work really well together. Almost like your brother. I feel like it's important to be within a group where you feel comfortable to voice your opinion, when you think that there is, not very good ideas being thrown about.
That's good. That'd be perfectly tactful.
Or like feeling comfortable enough to put forth your ideas without feeling
Anybody left on Zoom? 17 people. Was that what?
We could have just had a picture.
Oh yeah. You want to like weigh in? And it's like,
Just not as large.
Some people would have.
yeah.
First manager, I think
Yeah, I think as what I'm trying to parse my head a little bit is, the interesting thing is, yeah, there might be other, while they all were sort of talking and engaging and thinking about the problem, I was sort of thinking about how it would be nice if almost like the group split actually into pairs, and then you could pursue different avenues, and then come back together and sort of look at, okay, wait, where did we end up by taking this? When you're all together, then yeah, maybe there's a choice that could be good, but it doesn't look that good right now, or maybe you need to go down that rabbit hole to see if it's good or not, and you're not able to. So I think I thought maybe in a way there is some pros and cons to the good group, and maybe sort of work out.
Yeah, that's a good point about the unchosen alternative. Yeah, and I don't know if it'd be more effective actually to have like the group bifurcate and go separate ways, or sort of write it down, like, oh yeah, idea for later, because like, boy, if this doesn't work out, this was our backup plan, and maybe we have to go back there. That's it. Yeah.
I was thinking, I'm sure other people had other ideas. So then watching 4 or 5 people coming up with ideas, and then going, wait, I also have a different idea. And then it kind of like puts into scope how truly big, like many different solutions there could be, and ways of going about it, and how even a group of 4 or 5 people is still like this another possibly good solution, or maybe that's so.
Yeah, as long as you get into passing, right?
Yeah.
Better.
So it's kind of how easy it is to like throw one more person in there and then maybe go down a whole different rabbit hole.
You want to find out?
No, hey.
Hey.
There's only 27.
I feel like you do suffer from the too many soups make. Too many chefs in the kitchen making soups. Too many chefs in the kitchen making soup. This is code soup now.
No, that's all right though. You stirred it up.
It's fun though. I think it's more fun.
The AI sent us on this whole tennis class thing. So
Yeah, we're,
it's, in my head, I was imagining.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's exactly what I thought too.
Is there ever in are you maybe doing some odd programming, and then I think I tend to be a person who will sort of look at this and like work with it, and then later be a bit better at looking at it by myself and like, okay, what could this be improved? So is there any of that too? Sort of
There can be, but for me, launch programming optimizes for the mob, right? And so like any work that's done outside of the mob, that learning is isolated, and that work is not informed by the other mobs. Hey, right? But you don't have that benefit. That being said, doing this for 8 hours a week, right? Those would be really good rating times. Actually, I find that that's why I like the Pomodoro. I like changing roles. It helps me sustain my energy because I'm thinking about different things. Sometimes there on the keyboard, I'm just gonna take a step back. So the work flows. It goes actually faster because we're able to pass it through.
I think one thing too, we did this at 10 a.m. instead of 7 p.m. The code difference is insane. I think
You think so? Okay.
100%. I think the brain fog of the day sets in. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I did it at like 5 a.m. every day, so this is where I was here. This class in general, like the time frame. So I feel like this class, I was just telling Robert about so more advanced, better to have more people.
Cool, okay.
You going?
You, go on?
I just pushed this up, whoever's up for it.
Where are we at orientation?
Figure it out.
Are you guys driving and navigating here? Have you made it back around, or Dave, you want to do it?
We should probably just go back over the entire logic. I just realized we could use like a switch statement for all the scores to have it in one.
Oh my gosh, the switch there. Wow.
I was thinking about that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
Just give it a try.
and you're thinking this is like, the scores just keep going, right? Like it could be 100% in our indexes, or not index, but like, do we have a score tracker that goes up and down, or one that just goes up?
What is with your
relative position?
fascination on the division? Can we just keep going and losing a bunch of
Yeah,
times?
well, because we built certain, like with the index and stuff, we built things around the concept that we're gonna go back down.
Right.
Once we hit the whole deuce oddity thing.
Right.
But that's just me thinking as somebody who played a lot of laser tennis and time as a child. So it might make sense from a programming standpoint to just be comparing numbers relatively and not thinking about this whole weird tennis deuce thing. Just using it as a switch thing.
What if we just did like a, okay,
Like if the user isn't gonna see the numbers and everything, but they're gonna be similar for us to put up.
So I think you should have it.
Okay. Yeah.
Take the wheel.
That is exactly what
You're driving.
All right.
oh, yeah, I'll stop sharing, sorry.
I kind of put us in this mess.
You said switch statement.
Switch statement. Yeah, I don't know. All right. So, what do you refactor all of it?
Well, so I think we can keep a lot of the same kind of logic, but we want to put it inside of a, either low deuce zone. So we kind of have like a non-deuce and then like a deuce zone. If that makes sense. That's what I think. So it is kind of a big change.
Well, do you have all the tests that you need?
Yes. So we have initially scores level up, right? Player scores 15 and then 115, and then each deuce, and then we have the bench player one, and it looks like that we're doing a deuce after player two is scored from bench player one.
So they're not compiling. Yeah, I think we kind of abruptly stopped the last mob, and so I think it might be busted.
Yeah, if you have to line the problem. We were going to add something in there that involves checking, but this might change everything.
Well, let's get it stable first,
Yeah.
so we have a solid
Yeah.
foundation to build upon. So
Um,
I think that was just
Yeah, so with this new setup, we're not doing any checking function. We should, I just deleted an extra line. The iterator is gonna be on that, because we're just gonna keep going with those. And then within the get score, do you think it would make sense to have kind of like, the special case would be, we're not in the deuce zone yet. So like, if you're doing, yeah, if we're doing a switch statement, like, if player score, if both player scores are below, 3, but either one is below 3, right? Then that would be, that would be draw logic for, okay, love,
I see what you're saying. So if they're below 3, you just return the logic for the outputs. And then if they're above 3, you do like a calculation if they're 1 or 2 ahead of each other.
Exactly. And so maybe we do a check first to see if somebody's won. Because that would be the quickest way to exit.
And this is going under the assumption that we're having to listen, right?
Let's keep that for now. But using like fixed index callouts. Just so we don't, if we decide that we're gonna call 15, 16 now, we don't have to go every 7 basis or something. I don't think that would be well, we've got it. So let's do, let's see, so we wanna get players that do full four. What if we put that off for now? Just comment out, don't play deuce full four, and then we would check for win first.
I think it's a quick fix, just after the if players won, and players who scored are greater than equal to 3, just if they're equal in the original.
So what if they're equal,
Yeah, otherwise you kind of just fall through and you see where you're not in the least.
or wouldn't one of them be zero?
No, the deuce is equal when they have scored at least 3 points.
So right now, we're trying to like catch the top. We're trying to build a deuce zone, and we'll put the advantages in the deuce zone later, but we just want to make sure it's
No, that makes sense, I'm not saying.
Players
And then let's run that test.
but then you have advantage. Oh, which does it?
Just run all of them.
This one passes out.
So, okay, yeah. So we're gonna have problems with that test later, but for now we're catching deuce. So if we put players at deuce before, what if we rename that to like check for deuce or something, and then we can put in yeah, we could make it and then now we were checking one of or we can just leave that as is. But we're catching the upper end. So once we're at deuce or advantage, we're catching that right away. And so I think that's deuce.
Still no time, what was that timer for?
That was the 7 minutes. That was the last.
We have 2 minutes to discuss. I think the next thing would be check for win before that. Check for win, then check for deuce, and then do 15 and 30.
Passing the advantage.
And that one's kind of, that one's kind of just lumpy and specific right now. We're going to be scrapping that later.
But we have tests, and that's good.
So yeah, let's try to go back. Go back to the tester.
Yeah, I think we should make a test for, did the person win if they have 2 more points and then passed
I really want to refactor those tests with calling player one
Yeah.
score 27 times.
I'm looking at that.
we should do that first.
So that's anyway. Yeah, let's switch up.
Who's driving next?
Yeah, I'm with you. I
Sweet
push
back
that.
there.
I think something else.
And we'll call this the last round. Have I navigated? No, I don't think I have.
Okay.
Okay.
Is everyone here for twice? I think you're on yet.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
Check
we're
for
doing 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Just restart them off of it.
Well, sure. Yeah, no. And that's nothing wrong with that. You get to a point where it's like, oh my gosh, we got to start over again. You've learned so much. Like maybe you keep your tests and you rewrite your implementation. Or yeah. That's what it is. There's changes. There. So let's see here. Let's see here. We were talking about. So my preference is to refactor the tests so they're easier to read. Is that okay if we spend like 4 minutes there? So here's what I was thinking, or by the mob. So, I'm thinking, there we go. Cool. I was thinking about like just replacing like those 3 lines with a call to a method that says player one scores and have to take the number 3. This would loop over that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So okay. So you know how to extract a method.
Oh, is it,
Refactor. Extract method. Yeah. Nice.
Oh, here we go. It takes the number tennis. We should probably
That's
take
really
the number
interesting.
3, right?
Yeah, and then int. Yeah, like times.
Oh, shit. Oops. Okay. Refactor, sorry. Use that in my method or refactor.
Do we want that to be a method that's part of the test? Or do we just want
Yeah.
Oh,
we do. I think it's just a test method, yeah. Because you don't want to put it on tennis.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of weird thing to do.
Oh, snap. Okay, cool. So we're gonna take this, have to take it in. Sorry, I didn't mean to take so long.
What? No, that's not it.
Alright, please.
Well, you need to pass the tennis object also. So I think we
Oh, we do need to pass? We do, okay.
Yeah, unless you want to make it feel.
Okay, and then an integer that represents the number of times. Sound okay, or?
Yes, and could you rename this method something other than
Yes,
extract?
yes, let's do,
Okay.
You guys tell me about it.
Well, and I recommend that you use the refactor.
Oh, okay. Sorry. No, go ahead.
No, I need to stay in classes.
Can I
Yeah.
increase it by hitting like Control plus?
No, I don't think you can, and don't
Oh,
worry
okay,
about
sorry
it.
about that.
Okay, so then.
That's cool. Why is it?
Oh, because there's no name. Okay, would you please undo several times? So like the name of the method, yep, and one more, yeah, until
Oh,
it's just
one more?
extracted. Yes,
Got it.
stop, okay. Now, okay. Yeah, you can put 3 up there if you want. Only 1 comma. Okay, now, please right-click on extracted and say refactor rename. Okay, nice. And then type,
Score player.
well, player 1 scores. Something like that. Excellent, hit return. Thank you. So that renamed on a web. Sorry. Yeah, put that renamed in here. Great. Okay, cool.
All right.
And let's just duplicate this method here. Yep. And change it to player 2 scores.
Is there a quick way to do just like place within selection or something?
Yes.
You do a find
Sorry,
replace and then,
Command R.
You do this.
Yeah, do that.
You do find replace and then like until you find.
What do you need to replace? Is there something you can replace?
I was just thinking like if you copy and paste player 1 scores and you just select it and you find replace and then type 1 and 2.
So you got these, let's do player scores.
Excellent. Very, very, yeah. So it's like,
Sorry, just trying to click.
no, keep doing it. That's good. It's good.
Okay, and then I'll do the other.
Well, let's run the test. Let's just
I'll run it.
the one that we've changed. Yeah, make sure that still does what we expect.
Failed. This might be because we were doing the hazard damage. This one's
Oh, so
following,
like,
right?
well, should one be 4 and the other one 3?
Yeah, first one should be 4.
Okay. So 4.
That's good.
Oh,
Run it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
This is why it's good to have tests.
exactly. This is why it's good to have correct tests.
All right, they've all passed. That one's good. too.
Okay, so yeah,
Should we dance around the other ones too?
let's dance.
All right.
Yeah.
Letter 2. We're doing how many? 3?
I'll just erase it. It's like, I don't know. So let's pay attention next time. So player 1.
Scores, these are injured.
There you go, that was
This one's 4.
You just copy that line.
Oh, but it's 4 and 4.
And scores, and this is 4 and 4.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, got it. Got it.
Oh, so much better. Awesome. Let's commit this code when it passes, I smile like to commit.
Okay, so we've got passing tests. I'll move what you guys think.
Nice.
Voice can so
Okay, yeah, so then are there more tests we want to write? Or we want to refactor? We're talking about, do we want to do advantage next? Do we want to, what do we want to do?
We factor that tennis sentence using the other.
So creative tennis. It's not for
Well, I mean, what would we replace those
Well, yeah, we'll just extract it,
into?
put it in the class.
I mean, like, have put it in the field. Or,
okay, so
yeah, let's do that too.
There's a, wait, you can.
No, we don't want to do public. Yes.
so private, so just private.
Well, and, so yeah.
Right click it, right click that line, and then, refactor it, and then extract variable, or extract parameter. Variable or field?
Introduce field. Right there. And initialize, no.
Oh,
No,
what?
please.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. I go to
And to do that refactory again.
factor line field, right? Use field.
And initialize in,
Initialize in.
setup.
Set.
There you go.
Okay. Do I hit enter? I don't want
Now, yes, so please hit enter.
Okay, cool.
Nice. And now, yep. And where's the setup? Cool.
Where is it? Do I need to put
And
that?
now we don't need. So now, if we these don't need to be static anymore.
Which one? Sorry.
The player 1 scores. We don't need to pass in tennis anymore.
Got it, got it.
Because you just use the field. So actually, here's what you do. No. Wait. So, no.
All those are.
Okay. Right click on that and say refactor change signature
Change signature.
of the top. Okay. And it's going to give you a dialog, which I guess is being shared. And can you delete the parameter?
Got it. Cool. Scores? Scores is gone, right?
No.
I'm sorry.
Tennis
Tennis is gone? Okay.
Yes, we have to say refactor.
I don't like to show you that.
Because you don't put it on the share refactor. Yeah. You'll see what it did.
So it just took
Okay,
off
and
for
then
that one.
get rid of static. Take
Static.
those instance methods.
Okay, so now we
Now
have
you can see the tennis field. I know, right? Yeah.
I know, I just-
I got pulling this out of the road.
All right, hold on. I'll go ahead.
Well, we didn't exactly like refactor the code. We refactored the tests. They're much nicer. I don't know. It's 7:45. I think we're done for tonight. So, nice. I like when it's ended. I should do we run the test to make sure it's.
Yeah.
Well, the continuous integration is going to help us. So I'm gonna. Someone will get there. Where we broke there.
Tennis is still getting.
Oh, we didn't like. Yeah, we just gotta get rid of all those tennis variables.
It's like line 62.
Okay, well, this is broken.
I think the extract field got a little messed up.
I think
Right
I
at
messed
the
up.
beginning, that private, that was like
I think maybe we did.
something.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, we gotta change that one too. Well, no, because now it's called a different time. So we can really want to use that in factor to change the signature. That'll change the column size too. Well, is that you learn? Yeah, right, yeah.
So why is it upset about?
Okay, so get rid of the static.
Oh, static, that's right.
Because, yeah, so there's no differences. Still
So you can
fail.
ask what you want.
Did we change the test somewhere? Well, because we keep creating new, so we have this 10
Yeah, we're
variable,
having
we give
all
her
these
those 10
things.
variables. It's like through that whole line. Yeah. Love it.
Do you have another score there? No.
Yeah, 61.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, right on. Good, yeah, nice. Awesome. Okay. Hey, this was super fun. You probably don't need to look at my book. Nice. Any final thoughts? Yeah, yeah. Let's give our mom a round of applause. Yeah. Yeah, and so everyone can do that on Wednesday. On a time that's a little more interesting than this one. So.
Wait, I just don't want everybody to watch.
That's right on. Yeah. Totally. Awesome. Good, good. So yeah, please bring your HDMI adapters on Wednesday, and yeah, we'll have an opportunity to do this further. Great. Thanks. I really appreciate it, guys. That was a great way to present it. Hope everybody found it very insightful. Okay. Yeah, and here we are. Anyway, that's everything for tonight. I know, right? Yeah. Have a good one, everybody. Stop the recording. I think it's recording still going.